The Loki series has had an extremely amazing opening. Fans and critics are totally loving the show. The MCU has expanded so much already that multiple familiar characters could cameo in other MCU projects. So just like every other MCU project, we are expecting to see at least one familiar MCU character in the show. Now we know that new ones like Richard E. Grant's mystery character and Sophia DiMartino's Lady Loki are supposed to appear in the show, but other MCU people could have an appearance as well. We believe this because Loki writer Michael Waldron recently stated that we could expect a few cameos here and there. WandaVision teased a big cameo, but totally played us by showing Paul Bettany as White Vision. A Doctor Strange cameo was supposed to happen, but it was deleted and Doctor Strange 2 was rewritten. But then in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Rhodey had a brief appearance, so Loki could definitely have a cameo as well. After all, it is a series that is very important for MCU's future. Since the show started from Loki's Endgame escape, we saw all the other Avengers from Loki's perspective, and the likes of Odin, Frigga, Thor, and Thanos also showed up in the film of Loki's journey. But these were all old MCU scenes. We have a list of characters who could have shot a new scene for Loki. Before I get to the list, it'd be nice if you guys would hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Okay, so the first character on our list is Heimdall. Heimdall died in Avengers Infinity War when Thanos came to be his guardian vessel in search of the Tesseract. But since this series brings the multiverse and different eras into the mix, Heimdall could make a small cameo in Loki. He did have a presence during the DB Cooper segment, but he didn't show up on the screen. Even though he is not a major character compared to the others in the Thor franchise, his appearance in the show could still surprise many fans.
Heimdall, you better be ready.
Although you have to consider the fact that Idris Elba has been pretty busy in the past year or so. He appeared in Netflix's Concrete Cowboy and will also show up in the Suicide Squad later this year. But still, a cameo doesn't take long to shoot, so I won't rule it out. Queen Frigga. Thor: The Dark World showed that Loki truly loved his mother. He was absolutely gutted when she died in the movie. Even the variant Loki couldn't believe that he would have led to the death of the person he loved the most. Loki, being a rebel, would definitely step out of the TVA's jurisdiction at some point in time, so he could go on to see his mother after witnessing her demise. Queen Frigga last showed up in Avengers Endgame to motivate Thor. Just like that, she could also appear in the show to impart her guidance to Loki in his time of need. She could give Loki the closure that he might need. Odin. Compared to the others, an appearance from Anthony Hopkins might feel like a tough ask, but in one of the trailer shots, Loki was the king of Asgard. Maybe Odin made him the king instead of Thor in this branch reality. This alternate timeline could show us a close and healthy relationship between Odin and Loki. It is something that we haven't seen in the MCU so far. Thor. Technically, Thor did have a presence in the first episode. We saw him in the Avengers Endgame scene of Loki's escape, and when Loki called Heimdall, he also called Thor for help. That's because Thor was a part of the DB Cooper bet that Loki lost. But as we saw, both Thor and Heimdall didn't appear in the sequence. It was just a scene that Loki was telling Mobius about. But still, you have to believe that a cameo by Thor would really excite the audience. He is among the 3 biggest characters in the MCU, so giving us a twisted Thor cameo would be amazing. Maybe a Thor variant could show up in King Loki's timeline, and he might not be worthy. Or maybe this variant is actually evil. The possibility of Thor's cameos are endless. Kevin Feige had that Doctor Strange cameo removed from WandaVision so that he doesn't overshadow Wanda. The same case could apply to the Loki series as well, but I'm still not willing to give up on his cameo, as it would only improve the show in my opinion. Lady Sif. She was last seen in Thor: The Dark World. She could not appear in Thor: Ragnarok because of scheduling conflicts. Now we know that Thor: Love and Thunder will solve the mystery of her absence, but before that, she could possibly appear in one of the branches where another variant Loki exists. Again, Lady Sif is not the biggest name in the MCU, but she is loved by many fans, so her presence in Loki would be very welcoming. Thanos or the Black Order. Back in the Avengers, the others threatened Loki. He said, Now that Loki has escaped with the Tesseract, either Thanos, the other, or even one of the Black Order members could pursue him. Maybe Thanos is too big of a character to appear, but one of the Black Order members can definitely show up to collect the Tesseract while Loki is on one of his TVA missions. The Collector or the Grand Master. I'm expecting the Loki series to take us through the cosmos as well. Miss Minute stated how the all-knowing timekeepers intertwined all the unique timelines into one sacred timeline long ago, but we know that the timekeepers aren't the only ones that have lived for billions of years. The Collector and the Grand Master are also the elders of the universe. They've probably lived as long as the timekeepers, so maybe one or both of them could show up in a sequence of the past that involved many cosmic beings. Uatu the Watcher. We saw the Watchers make a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And now, Uatu will be serving as the narrator for the upcoming Disney Plus series, What If? Jeffrey Wright is set to voice the character in the animated series. And we know that everything is connected within the MCU. So far, we're not seeing any big connections between What If and the other MCU projects. The only connection that exists is that What If will explore some MCU storylines differently in alternate timelines. So maybe a connection between the MCU and What If could be established through Loki. Jeffrey Wright's Uatu could show up in Loki to familiarize audiences with his character. After all, the MCU does use their projects to set up other future projects. And What If is going to be the next Disney Plus project after Loki ends. So an Uatu cameo in Loki would make sense. Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors is going to appear as Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I am known as Kang the Conqueror. Welcome to your future.
But since his casting was announced last year, and Loki is a series that directly deals with time travel, Kang has to have an appearance in Loki. He is someone who probably breaks the most time laws, so he would be #1 on the hit list of the Time Variance Authority. Furthermore, Gugu Mbatha-Raw's character, Ravonna Renslayer, is also linked to Kang in the comics, so we could see him pop up towards the end of Loki Season 1. Doctor Strange. Miss Minutes has already given us a setup for how the Multiverse of Madness could happen in Doctor Strange 2. In the past, Kevin Feige also stated that Loki will connect with Doctor Strange 2, so I'd say that Strange could have a cameo at the end. Loki and Doctor Strange 2 were also filmed around the same time after the pandemic, so something with Strange could have been arranged. Although after knowing what happened with his appearance in WandaVision, maybe it is not the likeliest of events. Okay, that's all from the list. Now I'm not saying that all these characters will appear in the show. All I'm suggesting is that it would make sense for at least one of them to appear. Which of them do you think could appear in the show? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun videos on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.